Welcome to Language Bites, the podcast where we break down language learning into digestible, easy-to-understand pieces. I'm Nia.
And I'm Ben. Today, we're diving into a super practical and incredibly fun topic, restaurant English for beginners.
That's right, Ben. And we're going to approach this with a special focus. Easy conversations, delivered in a slow and clear manner. So, if you've ever felt a little intimidated ordering food abroad, or even just calling a local restaurant, this episode is for you.
Absolutely, Mia. I know for a fact that one of the biggest anxieties for language learners, especially beginners, is that moment of having to speak up in a real-world situation. And what's more real-world than food?
Exactly. It's universal. Everyone eats. And the beautiful thing about restaurant interactions is that they follow a fairly predictable pattern. This predictability is what makes restaurant English particularly easy for beginners.
That's a fantastic point. Unlike a free-flowing conversation where you might encounter anything, in a restaurant you generally know the steps: greeting, seating, ordering, eating, paying. The vocabulary and phrases tend to be quite consistent.
And that consistency means you can actually prepare. You can learn specific scripts, almost like lines in a play. You know your role as the customer, and you know the general role of the staff. This really reduces the unknown.
So when we say easy conversations, we mean simple, direct, and functional language. No need for complex grammar or obscure idioms. Just getting your message across clearly.
And the slow conversation aspect is twofold. Firstly, for us, right now on this podcast, we'll be speaking a little more slowly and clearly than usual, giving you time to process the words and phrases. We want you to feel comfortable listening.
And secondly, we want to encourage you, the learner, to also adopt a slow conversation approach when you speak. Don't rush. Take a breath. Enunciate your words. It's not a race, and speaking slowly often leads to being understood better.
Precisely. It shows confidence, and it gives the person you're speaking to time to understand you, especially if they're not a native speaker themselves, or if there's background noise in a busy restaurant.
Let's walk through a typical restaurant experience, shall we? We'll break down the key moments and some easy phrases you can use. Imagine you're just arriving.
Okay, so maybe you've made a reservation, or maybe you haven't. If you have, you might say something like, "Hello, we have a reservation for two under the name Mia." Very clear, very simple.
And if you haven't, you could say, "A table for two, please," or "Do you have a table for four?" It's direct and gets to the point. The staff will likely understand you even if your pronunciation isn't perfect.
Right. Once you're seated, the next step is usually drinks. A common phrase is, "Could I get a glass of water, please?" Or, "I'd like a coffee, please." Notice the "could I get" or "I'd like." These are polite and very common.
And then comes the main event, ordering food. This can feel daunting, but it doesn't have to be. You can simply point to the menu and say, "I'll have this, please."
Or, if you know the name of the dish, "I'll have the chicken pasta, please." If you're unsure, you can ask for recommendations. "What do you recommend?" Or, "What's popular here?"
A crucial part of ordering is also asking about dietary requirements. This is where those easy, direct questions really shine. For example, does this contain nuts? Or is this vegetarian? Or even, I'm allergic to seafood.
Those are so important to practice. Don't shy away from them. Your health comes first. The staff are used to these questions.
During the meal, you might need something. Again, simple phrases work best. "Excuse me" is your best friend to get attention. Then, "Could we get some more napkins, please?" Or, "Could I have some ketchup?"
And then, of course, the end of the meal. When you're ready to leave, you'll need the bill. The most common phrase is, "Could we have the bill, please?" In American English, you might hear check instead of bill. So, "Could we have the check, please?" is also perfectly fine.
And for payment, another simple exchange. "Can I pay by card?" Or, "Do you take cash?" And then, "Thank you."
Speaking of payment, a quick note on tipping. This varies significantly by culture. In some countries, it's customary and expected. In others, it's not. It's a good idea to research local customs beforehand if you're traveling.
Absolutely. A little research goes a long way. Now let's talk about some general tips for beginners learning restaurant English. Mia, what's your top advice?
My top advice would be listen actively and then repeat. Listen to how native speakers order, how they ask questions. Watch movies, listen to podcasts like ours. Then practice saying the phrases out loud, even if you're just talking to yourself in the mirror.
That's excellent. And I'd add, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes when learning a new language. The key is to learn from them and keep trying. Most people will appreciate your effort to speak their language.
Yes, they really do. And role-playing can be incredibly helpful. Grab a friend, pretend your kitchen table is a fancy restaurant, and take turns being the customer and the server. Practice those easy conversations.
Let's do a quick, very slow example right now, just to show how simple it can be. I'll be the server, Mia, and you be the customer.
Okay, sounds good.
Welcome. Do you have a reservation?
No, we don't. A table for two, please.
Right this way. Here are your menus. Can I get you anything to drink?
Yes, please. I'd like a glass of sparkling water.
Excellent. See, even a brief interaction spoken slowly and clearly is perfectly effective.
It truly is. It's about confidence and having those key phrases ready.
So, to summarize our discussion today, learning restaurant English for beginners doesn't have to be overwhelming.
Not at all. It's actually one of the most accessible areas of language learning because of its predictable nature and common phrases.
And remember, practicing slow conversation yourself, speaking clearly and taking your time, will greatly improve your chances of being understood and will boost your confidence.
Focus on those easy functional phrases we discussed, from making a reservation to asking for the bill. You don't need to be fluent to enjoy a meal out in an English-speaking country.
Just start small, practice those common scenarios, and you'll be ordering like a pro in no time.
Thank you for joining us on Language Bites. We hope this episode has given you the tools and the confidence to start your journey with restaurant English. Keep practicing, and don't be afraid to try.
That's all from us today. Until next time, happy learning and happy eating.